Three, two, one. We are live now with another very special interview and also demonstration on Excel with a very special guest. I'm Cristiano Galvao from Brazil, from the Excel Turbo channel here. You can see here. And today I have a very special guest from Nigeria. It's an MVP from Data Platform and passionate about Excel and Power BI. Here at my side virtually, I'm bringing you now Michael Olafusi from Nigeria. Hey, Michael, how are you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, yeah, good to see you here. Thanks for accepting the invitation. It's really a pleasure. We have been talking behind the scenes, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And even more here right now, running a live video for this audience in Brazil and abroad. Thank you very much for accepting. It's my pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Muito obrigado. I'm very happy to be
Ah,
here.
muito obrigado. Yes, thank you very much in Portuguese. Yeah, good, good, excellent, excellent, cool, cool. Yeah, Ligia is here. Hello, guys. Good afternoon. And as you can see, Ligia, he is learning a little of Portuguese. So starting the video saying muito obrigado. Very, very well. Well done. Well done. Well done. Let me bring here the map to watch through. Okay, I'm watching, but to show to everyone the place where he's coming from, I have here the. Oops. This way is better. Uh, Let me show firstly where I am. I'm here. Let me show Michael. I'm here at this point, someplace here around, not exactly on the beach, but here on the middle. And then let me show to everyone. I know your place. I don't need to use the search anymore.
That's good.
Michael Olafusi from Nigeria, here
Yes.
in Africa, this side,
Yes.
and someplace
Lagos.
here,
Yes, correct.
here.
Yes,
This
yes,
is Lagos,
exactly.
Nigeria. Yes, yes. I was looking to some pictures, and it's really cool place. And but you are from this city, right? Lagos, Nigeria, or you are from another place and then moved to Lagos.
Yes, I was from somewhere else, a bit more on this side, then a bit down, not too far off. So
Uh-huh.
in kilometers, say maybe like 200 kilometers from Lagos. So that's where I originally came from. It's Ondo State. So Nigeria is majorly into like four, uh, more like tribal sections, regions. So there's where Lagos is, which is where my tribe comes from. But then Lagos is one of the states. There are about like 10 states in that section of Nigeria. And so, like, until I was I think 8 years old before I moved to Lagos. And Lagos is where most of the activities, commercial activities happen in Nigeria. So you find out that most of us who are trying to build up a career in the white collar job, if you're not into agriculture, if you're not into some kind of businesses, if you are consulting, you most likely come to Lagos. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it's the
have been
biggest
in
city as I
Lagos.
can see here. Yes, it's in Portuguese, but I can help everyone here translate to English. It's the biggest city. Well done, well done. Beautiful place, beautiful place. I hope to visit someday. I went to
Yes,
Angola, but
to
not
be cool to
Nigeria
have
yet.
you. Yeah, it's really
Yes, I
cool.
hope to see the place in person someday. Yeah, really cool. And I have here also a page that I must show to everyone. Michael Olafusi is MVP since 2014. So five, and today you are renewing to one another year,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So
Yes, well
like
done.
next is six. Yes.
Yeah, they will update. Actually, the page, if everybody will try to see. Today the page is offline because they are updating. So I got from the
Okay.
cache, and
Oh,
this is
okay.
a
This one.
temporary page because yeah, the real page is offline. They are updating. Then tomorrow we will going to see a number
See the
6
6.
here. Yeah,
Yes.
well done. I can see lots of contributions here. They are amazing, and you have even more in your YouTube channel that I have here as well. And how did you start? I have something here that I will ask you for curiosity, but I I want you to hear. I want to hear from you. How did you start in Excel?
Okay. So
How
my
it
journey.
was?
Okay, so my journey began in year 2011. Actually, in school, in university, I read electrical electronics engineering. So, kind of like by training, an engineer. And then I got my first job with a telecommunications company, Nokia Siemens. So, they call them infracode. They are the ones who build the infrastructure side of the telecommunications companies. So almost like what Huawei and Ericsson does. Oh, great! See, that's the name, Nokia Siemens Networks. I That was where I started my career, and unfortunately, after like my first year, uh, a competition. I don't want to mention the name of the competition, but if I say it, everybody will know. So a competition took most of our jobs, and I was affected. So they had to cut down on the workforce. They had to let some of us go. So that was what happened to me in 2011. But I was lucky. So I got another job with Bharti Airtel, this big Indian company, but it's very big in Nigeria because they expanded, and they are big in Asia, they are big in Africa. They have a footprint in over 10 countries in Africa. So I was lucky I got a job with them, but now not as a technical role anymore. So before I was a radio access engineer, more like setting up infrastructure for the telco. But now in this case, I was hired as a business analyst and an MIS executive. So which was purely just reporting. So I started having to report. Hi, Alan. I can see I can see a message from someone that I know very well. So hi, everybody. So I got that job, and then I another person that looks familiar. Hi, Matthias. And so the job was now purely just analysis. So I started having to learn Excel. The funny thing was when they were interviewing me, because the company hasn't yet set up fully, the team hasn't set up fully in Africa. So the interview was from in India. They were much more particular about getting someone who has industry experience. So they didn't check that I was not an analytics guy. I was a technical guy. They just looked at, oh, okay, he has some years of experience in telco. So let's just bring him on board. And after I had gotten the offer letter, I'd almost resumed. Then someone in the team I was supposed to work in looked at my profile and was like, you're a technical guy, but this role is a business analysis guy role. Are you sure this is what you want to do? I said, yes. Then he said, okay, can you use Excel? He says, yes, yes, sure. And he asked me, can I do VLOOKUP? I've not heard of VLOOKUP all my life, that period. So I was not sure if he's trying to say,
Oh,
because then I wasn't too used to the Indian accent. So I felt maybe he wanted to say something I knew, that he says it somewhere in a way that I didn't get it. So I started mentioning everything I knew. Oh, do you mean pivot table? He said, no. Do you mean filter? I mentioned everything I knew. Then he was sure I don't know anything about VLOOKUP. But it was too late. I had already been offered the job. So I knew I had to buckle up, and that was where my journey in Excel started. And the thing is, every day I do reports for 10 countries, and each country used to have close to 1 million rows of record because there were transactions in one of the business arms of the company. And so that helped me to learn really fast. So I go online, everybody in Nigeria knows some of the very popular. So there's Chandu, which was interviewed the last session, Mr. Jelen, Mr. Excel, and a couple of the common names that now I know them closely. But then they were like, oh, these people are really high up there, and they were the ones I was going through their resources, and I was having to learn on my own, and I became really good at it. That I started helping out other subsidiaries of the company, and I started even so I was learning French because they had also operations in francophone country. Unfortunately, we didn't have in Angola. Maybe I would have learned a bit of Portuguese. So when I was getting very good, I
Cool.
started
Yeah,
creating,
you are close to Angola. Nigeria is close to Angola.
a bit
It's not so
close.
far. It's not so far.
Yes, yes, not so far.
Yeah.
So I started creating mini courses for other countries. I started even creating in French, and I started helping people online. I started blogging about Excel, almost like what Chandu too said that he had a blog. So my own blog too got me some attention, and I was helping people. I was doing things on the side, and I was constantly in my place of work. I became like a superstar. I was doing almost all of the work that three people are supposed to do. I was doing the lion's share of it so much that the other people in my team they had to start giving them some other roles so that since I was kind of like covering most of it very well. So that was where my journey in Excel began in year 2011 and then progressed till year. I changed company in year 2012, but again, the company I changed to, it was my boss in my first company. So he really liked me and wanted me to join the company he moved to. So he too left Nokia Siemens and he said he was starting a new team. He asked what I now do. And I told him, like, oh, yes, we'll need the Excel skill. There are a lot of reports nobody is creating and the company doesn't want to hire someone just to be doing reports. So I have to come and do automate the report. So that became another stepping stone to learning VBA. And I automated a lot of reports for the company. And that was something I was very proud of. And then from there, in 2014, I now resigned to start my own consulting business. And coincidentally, that same 2014, I got the Microsoft MVP award. So it kind of gave me a boost. So I was like, oh, it looks like all the stars are aligning. Maybe consulting is really what I should be doing. But unfortunately, that year, thank God for the award. So maybe that helped me to be motivated, but I didn't make money. I spent all of my money. And it looked like all the jobs I was doing when I was working part time and using my weekends and after work hours, everything just went dry. Like nobody was giving me jobs anymore. They were like, "Oh, you've resigned. Okay, we don't want you anymore." So, but then I that was where I did a lot of most of my content creation. So if you go on my YouTube, a lot of my courses. So when I wasn't getting jobs, I felt okay. I have a lot to share. I have these things. I had a lot of time so I created online courses even when I didn't know of how to create online courses. I created an email list and people will subscribe to the email list. And every week I send them trainings, I give them assignments. So I had about like 1,000 people. And like that, I send them YouTube videos. This is week one. So it went on for like, I think, maybe 9 weeks. And I gave people certificates. And, it made me really I had time a lot, so I was just creating a lot of content here and there, and it was awesome for me that year in terms of a lot of amount of. I wrote a book. I started writing book then, but I didn't make any money. That was the really bad part. So 2015, that was 2014. Then 2015, business began to pick up. Then now I had much more work and I could not keep up. So in 2017, I was now struggling to keep up with contributing to the community with my blog. So I started doing more of the physical events. I started a user group. So we started in Nigeria, the Nigeria Excel user group. Though I was not the person who started it, but because I had time, I was able to help make it work. So we started putting some structure to it. So I became more like the face of the group. And also I got to know a lot of other people in the community. And now I know Cristiano very well. And like it's been a very exciting journey for
Cool,
me. Excel has really
cool,
changed my life.
cool. Let me bring some comments here. Lisha is watching. Lisha noticed the Portuguese
Okay,
and is
so I
enjoying a
spoke in
lot.
Portuguese.
Yes, in
Okay,
Portuguese.
thank you.
We have here Faraz Shaikh. that sometimes I know Faraz is a great friend, and Rahim Zulfikar from the Pakistan, and
Great.
nice guy as well. We have to talk. We have to talk. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And we have also other guys coming. Bruno Soares is my friend from Brazil, here from
Mm.
Rio de Janeiro. Uh, the Alan Murray, it's from London. Marcos Reaper is from Brazil, more to the south. We have also Ito from São Paulo, and this is amazing. This is amazing. I have a curiosity here. You know that you noticed that I put Nokia Siemens Network and also the logo
Yes.
because I worked for Nokia Siemens as well. So we have a
Whoa.
coincidence. We have a coincidence.
Wow,
And
wow.
yes,
That's
yes,
a good
but
one.
in Rio de Janeiro. Yes, yes. It's a great coincidence that I would like to share to you.
Wow.
It's a great coincidence. And for everyone who are watching this video, Mikel profile on LinkedIn is very complete. You can look more and know more as well on LinkedIn. You can follow him and also send a connection. He is a very cool guy that like to share content with everyone. We have something. Uh, okay, okay. I have something here at the bottom of the screen to show, but I know that you have also a demonstration. I can show this thing here later. We have more people coming, and later we send the hello. We have the hello to Viran. Hi Viran, and the others are coming as well. You have a demonstration on Excel, but I know that you like Power BI a lot,
Oh,
right? You
yes.
are MVP on data platform, right? You
Yes, currently
like
now.
both. You use both.
I
Great,
used to
great.
be in
And what do
Excel,
you bring
so
today? Yeah.
mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
the MVP category in Excel, firstly.
Yes, then
Oh,
now I'm in data platform. So
oh,
they've moved me from Excel to now data platform. That started this year, actually.
oh, yeah. Because I couldn't see on the website because they put the most recent category. But so it's good to know. Good to know. Yes, yes, yes. Cool. And what do you bring today? Yeah, I know that you have something about connecting Excel with another spreadsheet software, right?
Yes.
Google
Our
Sheets. Okay. Yeah, you told me. Let's show something for them. You can share your screen. I'm going to put here, and let's show the tricks, and then I have some questions to you later after the demonstration. Okay, let me
okay.
put here on the screen.
Okay.
Okay,
So ready?
this is not Excel.
Yes. So uh, this is what I want to show us. So a lot of times I come across people who at their
Uh-huh.
workplace they already use Google Sheets to maybe give some people to input data. Sometimes some people feel more comfortable with filling information in Google Sheet, and you can be tough to convince them to move to Excel online. So we say, okay, no worries. As long as you have Excel for your core work, we can still make them and shake. So this is a scenario around which there are a team of people who feel this thing. So they gather information about real estate in Nigeria, in the popular cities in Nigeria. And the whole essence is to do analysis to show, okay, where is the what's the average rate of rent? If you want to go into real estate, what can you hope to make? And if you want to relocate, where is affordable to relocate to? So that's what this is supposed to do. But then we want to do the analysis in Excel, right? So I have already some in real life, I typically do have already analysis that I'm doing in Excel that I need to pick some of those information from the Google Sheets to feed into my analysis. So I want to show you how you can bring in, data from Google Sheet directly into Excel. It's a bit of a hack. Someone came across it and was generous enough to share the information online. And so It's not something I uncovered myself. I'm just sharing what other people have shared. So these are the steps, you know. So I'm going to just turn on my magnifier so that it might help with you seeing the steps that I'm taking. So let me just launch that. I think it has come up. Okay, good. All right. So step number 1 is that on the Google Sheets, so on the Google Sheets, you will have to share it. So I'm trying to. Okay, great. So it has come up. So you'll have to share, and this is just the downside. The kind of share that you'll have to do is the one where anybody can use it. So where anyone with a link. So I'm going to have to change this to get the link, and I need to change this to anyone with a link. So once you do this, you have to be careful then, such that you make sure nobody who is not supposed to get the link has it, because if anyone gets the link who is not meant to have it, then they'll be able to see the content. So that's just the downside of this approach. But then once you have that, I'm going to just paste that link somewhere here so that, okay, so we need to do something to the link, which is step number 1. Step number 1 is we've already gotten the link. Step number 2 is we need to take out the ending part. So there is this part to the link, which you can see, this edit. So from here all the way to the end, I take that out. Okay, so that's step number 2. And then step number 3 is we replace that with something else. So we replace that with this export format as Excel. So I'm going to grab that portion and I paste that as a replacement for what was there before. And then the unique ID is this alphanumeric digits. So
A key.
this I copy.
A unique
almost
key.
like a key. So I paste it again in front. So that's the unique ID. And this is where the work is. Once you've gotten this out, then life is easy. All you do now is simply go to data. So let's minimize this. I go to data and our trusty Power Query, which is get data, and you go to web, but now you can get that faster by just clicking on from web. So we're just doing that. We want to make this come in as a web data. So once I do that, I click from web, it comes up, I paste that link, I say okay, and it will open the navigator. So that should come up in a bit. All right, so I'm going to scroll down. I think that should be on my screen. Okay, great. So it has come up, and this is the Google Sheets. You can see the preview, right? This is exactly the same data that you see on the Google Sheets. Because I don't want to, this is just what I want to show. I'm just going to click on load and bring it straight into the Excel sheet as it is. So that is happening right now. Voila. And the interesting bit is, as my team, because it's my colleagues who are filling this, as they go ahead and update the Google Sheets with additional information. So we have a dedicated team who are scrubbing the entire repositories online. And as soon as they had more information, I am able to come into here and right click and just do refresh. So if I do refresh, it's going to go and grab all of the new updates that have been made on the data in Google Sheets. So that is my task number 1. And any questions, alguma pergunta, before I move to the next one?
Alguma
Alguma
pergunta? Any
pergunta?
question?
Any
Good.
questions?
In Portuguese. Cool, cool, cool.
I'm
You
trying.
can leave your questions here, who are watching live, and we have a friend here. You are looking Excel, but let me bring back the screen. We
Okay.
have Fred Anafi from Ghana,
Oh,
a
great,
great
great, Fred.
friend of
Hi.
us on LinkedIn.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
always publishing content as well. Cool, cool. Uh, this is good. I was wondering. Usually,
Mhm.
we try to poll to people our opinion. On
Yes.
this case, we would say to everyone, you have to use Excel online instead of Google Sheets. But sometimes I think we have to create some solutions to bring people to our side instead of trying to convince too much. And
Yes.
then once they see the advantages, they start to trust more. And I think this is the approach that you are bringing. This is cool. You start to use Excel step by step, and then maybe later they start to adopt Excel and not
Mm.
Google Sheets anymore. Cool, cool, cool.
Yes, yes.
And we have lots of advantages. It's not the purpose to compare because I think it's not fair because Excel is much better than Google Sheets. But I know, for example, that you have another trick related
Mm-hmm.
to JavaScript,
JavaScript,
right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
JavaScript automation. Yeah. But before that, let me put the Lygia's comment here. She tells that
Ah,
your Portuguese is very good.
muito obrigado. Thank you.
Muito obrigado. And Fred,
Muito
he's telling that.
obrigada. Yeah, okay, it should be obrigada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muito
Y-
obrigada. My teacher won't be happy that I missed that one.
yeah. You know what? I know some Nigerian music because when I went
Yeah.
to Angola, I started to watch some videos and listen people to hearing music. But the curious fact, most of the music were Nigerian, so I like Davido, Whiskey,
Wow, wow.
lots
Those are our popular
of artists.
artists.
Do you like as well? Yemi Alad,
Oh, wow.
technical, not technical, it's techno.
Yes, yes,
Pana
there's also
music.
techno.
This
Yes,
song
yes.
Pana is really really good. Pana
Wow.
and Two Face, Blackface, and all.
You know many of them. That's a nice.
I have a playlist, Afrobeats,
Oh,
that I like to
oh,
hear a lot.
wow.
Yeah. Pana and If Fall, the Fire is always excellent. And I
Wow,
like
wow.
this.
You probably even
Lija,
listen, you know more about them than me. Because I just have a few of them that I listen to all the time. Then it's on TV that I get to hear more of the
uh,
others. Maybe I'm in a restaurant. But from what you're saying, you even hear more of some of them more than me.
yeah,
Cool, cool. Yeah,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is
Here this.
the video.
Yeah, I cannot play too much because YouTube will shut down the video if I play too
Oh,
much.
oh,
But
oh,
this
great,
is
great,
very cool.
cool.
Yeah, Lija is standing here perfect, and she likes
Oh,
David
awesome. The
too.
video is
We
kind of popular over there.
Yeah, but I hear David since 2017, not from
Wow,
this year. And
wow.
when we went to New York on 2018, we started to, but the songs that most of people are hearing now, they are not from this year. They are from 3 or 4
Wow.
years
Before
ago. It's
now.
very interesting.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
Fred
Fred
says
is
you should
telling
listen to
about the
Ghanaian song
Ghanaian
too.
songs
Yes.
too.
There's even one of their popular
Ah,
artists, Shatawale. At least I remember that one. They also have good music too. That maybe if you hear one of
uh-huh,
them, you find out that it's a bit similar beat to the Afro beat is also there.
uh-huh. I have to visit Ghana someday as well. Maybe a trip in Africa after all
Yeah,
this situation of pandemic.
is
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking the comments here. Yeah, Alicia is talking about a specific song. Is this? Yeah, this is from Angola. The song that Alicia is telling.
oh, okay.
But cool, cool, very cool. Usually we start talking and then the demo and then then it's the end. But this time we are making different. Also a demonstration about JavaScript, correct?
Yes.
What can we do with JavaScript and specifically with the modern add-ins? Let me put on the screen again, and
Okay.
not my screen, but
Okay.
yours. Yes.
Okay. So should am I ready?
Uh-huh. Yes, yes. Feel
Okay.
free to show
So
us.
okay, great. And then many people uh, are not, well, a lot of people are, but then there's still many people who are not yet aware that there's this section in their Excel, and that's what I want to take us through right now. And I want to show you how I was able to do. It's called Excel web adding. It's the new kind of adding. It's different from the one we do with VBA. So I want to just show you how you can instantly start to do something without you having to know a lot of JavaScript or know a lot of other things that most of us who do Excel don't have time for. So that's the idea. But first of all, let me show you that there is this section in our Excel now that you can go get add-ins. And once in a while, it's good to go through it because you'll find some add-ins that will be very useful for you, you know. And so a couple of times, it could be just once a month, I try to look through to see if there's something that can be of use for me that I can add in my Excel. And if you stay here for long, you probably come across my add-in. So that's the one I want to show you a demo around how I created. Though I can't show you everything, but enough to show you to be able to do something by yourself. So there is great.
You're right in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah,
If you
it's
try,
small, I'm seeing Nigeria. I'm going to do this in my Excel too. I have to do this
yes,
here.
great.
Yeah.
So for us, I noticed that we don't have anything that even the new uh, stock stock history formula doesn't get Nigerian stock. So for us, someone just has to do what will have what we need in Nigeria. So I decided, okay, someone can be me. So all right, now that I've shown you that there's that store, and the moment you had any app from there, it becomes available in your Excel. So this is that one that I just showed you, and the moment I added it, it becomes available and you can do a lot. But now let's not do marketing, let's not do advertising. Let me go straight to what I want to show you, how to build yours, right? So I'm going to demonstrate with Visual Studio because it's a lot easier to do with Visual Studio. You can do it with any other thing. It's purely you just creating JavaScript and HTML and bundling them with manifest files. So it's not too restrictive on what to use. But for if you're like me, who your skills is much more in Excel, you'll find that using Visual Studio will abstract away many of the problems you might face if you are not very techy in the line of the other programming languages. So that's why I want to show us with Visual Studio. Visual Studio is something you can easily install. There's a free version also. So I'm going to go to File. So let me turn back on the magnifier so you can see the things I click on.
We have Osd Soler here.
Oh, great, great. The MVP on fire. So
Yeah,
I
Excel on fire. He just woke up and it's on JavaScript right now.
oh, cool. So I'm going to create a new. So I'm going to say I want to set up a new project, right? And in the list of projects that come up, I go to Office. So as you can see, Office, and instantly I can see Excel web adding. So that's what I want to do. And I'm going to just give it a name different from the default name. So I'm probably going to say Excel Turbo Demo. Okay, so something unique. And then I click on OK, and instantly it will ask me, am I looking to add new functionalities to Excel in form of new commands, something that will impact the user interface, or do I want to add something else that will be like an embeddable object into Excel? So because of time, I will not go into much details of the difference, but then if you go to the documentation, so what I did was I tried to open down the documentations. Maybe I'll post them in chat later on, where you can read the difference from Microsoft themselves in their documentation. But for many of us that you just want to add additional functionality into Excel, it's this option 1, that you will pick. So I do option 1 and finish.
Yep. But it's fair to give just an overall notion, because this is not supposed to be a full class. You have your courses that I recommend they to know, and but it's good to see what the technology can do for us, and at least how we can get there. For example, you told Visual Studio. I'm putting here on the banner so everyone will be able to know that Visual Studio can help us to make the add-ins, but the step-by-step requires a study that everybody must to stop to learn and invest time to do that. But every link you can give us, they will be really welcome. I can put in under the video later at the comments and at the description, and I can link to your blog articles as well.
Okay. So let me see if I can quickly. Okay. Maybe I will exit the magnifier now and just zoom the screen so that you will see this better. So I'm going to just exit the magnifier, and then I'm going to increase the zoom. Okay. All right. So the differences between, so while I was here, let me just take you right back to that place.
This is the behind the scenes inside Visual Studio.
Okay. So now this was that part. So the difference between this option, right? So this was what I did the other time. I went with that option, but then based on what you said, I can try and spare additional minutes on this and show the difference. So for this one, essentially what you're doing is, maybe it's good you can even see, you want to add a new command into Excel. So you have something that you want to, like in my case, this demonstration I want to do is one where you, as the user of Excel, who maybe you're a Nigerian or you're interested in investing in Nigeria, you want to pull in some financial market data. You want to see what the stock market is doing. You want to see what the exchange rate is, what the inflation rate is, things that are not in Excel, that has to come from outside of Excel. So for something like that, I need to use this option. So this option is one that allows me to add, something external, for me to say, I want to add something external in the user interface that blends well with the Excel interface, and you can interact with it to, even to the level of formulas, because right now you can be able to create user-defined formulas with this web adding. Okay, so, and that's what this one makes possible. Whereas this option number 2 focuses more on, I don't know if you have used Power Map in Excel. You will be familiar with the experience that you have like a window that is separate from, let me see if I can pull up something to illustrate that. Let me try this Bing map. I think it has. So this Bing map is something like that. So you see, I have, this is something that is separate, kind of. It's not, it does not work like a formula that you can, it needs to take something from your
Not on
Excel.
the cells. Yeah,
Yes, not on the
it's
cells.
not inside the cells, but it's not a VBA form. It's something else.
Yes, so this is the kind of option. This is the kind of,
I could see a map. You put a map inside.
yes, yes. So
Before
this one,
you switch the screen, yeah, the map.
okay, great.
I can
Because
see.
what I did was I picked Bing Map. So it's Bing Map that brought that. So this is also there in our Excels. Okay, so this is the kind of web adding experience that you get if you pick. So this kind of one here is what you will need to pick this option 2 if you want to develop that. So that's just what I know. It can be
We
deeper than
could
what I've said.
create we could create some solution for freight, for example,
Yes, yes.
to
So you
calculate
can,
something.
so
Using
maybe
maps and
maps are
destinations, but calculating something inside Excel.
exactly. So there was a project I had that if I knew this, though I'm not perfect with this. That's why I'm the perfect person to show many people how to use this, because all what you need to do what I'm doing, you already have them. I'm not good with JavaScript. I'm not good with C Sharp. I'm not good with most of the things that put people off when they think of this Excel web adding. They think, oh, you have to use Visual Studio. It's easy to install. I have to use JavaScript. Don't worry, you can modify the templates that come with the Visual Studio, and C Sharp, not so much. So that's why I felt this would be a good way to help them overcome their initial hindrance to it. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to the one that I've created. So this was what came up when I clicked on, yeah. So maybe I should just do it again, since it seems I will just do it all over again. It doesn't take time to do all over again. I'm going to bring back the magnifier.
Yeah, I can see in my Excel the new button Nigerian market data.
Oh, great! You've added
And
it.
I have. Oh,
Great.
it's very cool. I suggest that everyone who is watching this video to install and take a look on the editing, because we can see the thing working in our own computer as well, not only on this video,
Yes.
but the real thing working in the real Excel.
Okay.
Your
So this was
Excel
where
is
we
real too, but you know what I mean. And people they want you to feel the thing
the
working.
real
Oh,
thing.
I have
Yes.
a more modern add-in, so I recommend them to
Yes.
install.
Yeah. So this was where we were. I went with the option 1 based on what I've explained. I want to add functionality into my Excel, and like as you see, I can share it with the world. So I can publish it. Though we won't get to publishing in this demo, but we'll get to building. And then the publishing is very easy. I will show you how to do it, but it takes like 1 or 2 days for Microsoft to do their fact check and do their validation before your adding will become
Every time you update, it takes 2 days, or maybe on the first time it
the
takes
first
more.
time, except
Takes
if you
longer than.
change, if you just change some things on the, so I will show you the core components. If you change some things on the HTML, the things that are, it's very tricky to say which ones, but it's not everything you change that will require 1 or 2 days for Microsoft to approve. there are some things you change that as you change them is instant. They don't need to do another approval for that. And luckily for us, if you have already done your design very well, that you don't need to change them too often, and your information about what the app is to do, and more like the metadata descriptions of the app, those ones always, if you change them, it will kickstart that revalidation process. But if what you do is you go and change maybe some of the computations, instead of maybe picking 2 columns, you change it to pick 3 columns. Usually, those ones don't require another set of validation from Microsoft. So this is what opens up when you create the project. And so what you see is there is a solution explorer, and as you can see, let me try to. Okay.
This is HTML, JavaScript, and CSS.
Yes, great. So there's the solution itself, right? Then there's this is what we typically call the manifest file, where you go to enter details about. So if I go there, this is it. You're able to publish and provide some information. And so if I double click on the manifest file, this is what opens up. So this is typically it's towards the end when you are done. You are able to specify the version. I'm able to specify the provider. So here I can say, let's say you're the one doing this, you put your brand there or your company. So this is what will be like when someone searches for the app in the App Store. These are the information they will see about you, and the description. So these ones are very easy to fill. It's almost like whatever you feel if you are putting up any app on any Play Store. So you will not have to worry too much about how to go about that one. It's a bit self-explanatory. So most of your work will happen in this lower bottom side of the Solution Explorer. So there are 2 key files that you need to go and touch. There's the home JavaScript, because that's why it's called a web add-in. It's primarily powered by JavaScript, even if there will be something else that the JavaScript is interacting with. JavaScript is the core of the app you are building in this case. And then there's the HTML, which kinds of renders the UI of the app. So without us doing anything, let me show you what comes up, right? If you just go ahead and you click on Start, it is going to launch Excel. It's going to preview. You will see how the app is going to work. Even right now, we have not done anything. So that's what I mean by you can start just modifying the template that comes with the project when you create the project. So once this open up, you will see that there's a lot of work that has been done ahead for you. So with just the little JavaScript tips and your knowledge of Excel, you'll be able to achieve a lot. So right now, you see, it has opened, right? And then I go, so it has opened. I say, yeah, got it. Open show on task pane. And this is the default that has been put in there, which we are going to modify and make to have what we want. Okay, so I'm going to show you where all these things you are looking at, where they are. So at this stage, I think I have to exit the magnifier because I need to do side by side, and I need you to see as I'm changing things, how those things I'm changing are affecting this app on Excel. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the right. I'm going to reduce the space.
I'm using the full screen to make sure they will be able to see.
Okay, great.
So it will be better if they see it on full screen.
Then I'm going to put this on the right so that you can see things as I change them. Then I will occasionally be zooming so that you see what I type. So okay. So right now, if you look at there's a title. So obviously we want to change that title to what we want, right? So I'm going to change this to Excel Turbo Demo. Okay. So, and then you will notice that if you're familiar with HTML, these will be things that you will relate with easily. There's the the compulsory tags, which says this is an HTML. Then there's the head tag, which are kind of, this is where all of the scripts that we need to use. So you can see jQuery was used. There is this called the Office Fabric, which right now Microsoft is trying to replace with Fluent UI. But then for us, what we are doing, we can still go ahead and use this. Just that if you want to learn this more and do this a lot more, you will have to also start getting used to what Microsoft is committing to. And then there's also these. So these are like scripts that the app needs to, JavaScript that it needs to bring in to leverage what has been done by Microsoft to render what you want without having to do things too much from scratch. And then the two files that we need to worry about, these ones. So we're already in this already. We are in home, which is this one. Okay. Home HTML, but these home files are the ones we need to worry about. We will not worry too much about CSS, but we'll put our functionality in the JavaScript side. Okay, so that's the explanation around the head. Then the body is where the contents of what will display. So take, for instance, what you are seeing here. You can see sample getting started, right? If you look here, this is that sample.
Sample getting started.
Getting started. Okay. This is the find more samples online, which again, you can see here. So you begin to see that there is a pattern. Without me knowing JavaScript, I can start creating something. I can say, no, I don't want this to read sample anymore. I want it to read Excel Turbo add-in.
In my case, I know JavaScript and CSS and HTML, but I'm thinking that on this way that you are explaining now, even for those that doesn't know anything about this technology, they will see that there is a direct relation with this, this window that you are showing now and the other side. Yes.
Great.
Very good explanation. But update and refresh. I want to see this in for real. Change and feel free to update.
If I save this, so I've saved, right? You might not. I use the control save, but if I save, I've saved now. I've saved. All I do is I come here and I do reload. You see reload here. Once I do that, you will see the changes I've made reflect. Voila.
Yes, let me. Excel Turbo add-in.
Great. So we are making progress. Let's do a few more changes. And so I don't need this one because I don't. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just
more.
I'm going to comment out this one, which that's why I say you will enjoy using Visual Studio. With Visual Studio, you don't have to know too much. All I just do is I want to comment that part out. There's a button here that I click to say it should comment it out. So that's what I'm going to do. Please comment that out. So that will take out this place for now because I don't need it. That's what is bringing what you're seeing here. And then I say this find more samples. So if I save it and I refresh, so right now it'll be a bit faster since you've gotten samples as gone. Okay, so now I want to replace this button, this highlight button, with a button that is useful for me, right? So I am going to the footer here. This footer here is this place. Okay, so I'm going to change the word from Contoso to Excel Turbo. Okay, so that will change that. Then this that you're looking at is what is making this possible. So I am going to replace it with something else I have. So I'm going to go do a separation because, and that's a good thing with Visual Studio. I can see where the dots are. So I know that this is what I want to replace. I have already created. I'm going to just go and grab it. I've done that part. If it's not too difficult, if you don't know JavaScript, it just means you might have to Google around to get how to put a button. So because of, I want to show you more functionality and how to change things than to take the whole of time with that one. So I've already done what will have like a button that I want, because I want my button to have some kind of option. So this, if you don't know, when I was doing this originally, I went to Bootstrap. So if you go to bootstrap.com, getbootstrap.com, they have a very good tutorial site that for those of us learning JavaScript, it can be a very good way. You have examples. You can use it to figure out what you want to do, how to get the code snippet and adjust it. So whatever you like that you want to use, icons, buttons, anything you want to use, you can go grab the code from here and just adjust a bit and you get what you want. If you know how to use Fluent React, then Microsoft too has that. It's just that I don't know how to use React, so that's why I went for Bootstrap, because Bootstrap is not difficult, but this React is looking too difficult for my Excel, for someone who is just an Excel person. So, but if you know how to use React, then this will be nice for you. You will just come here, use this to get the codes for the icons, for the buttons you want to use, and instantly you can be able to. So if you know how to use React, all you just do is you pick what you want and you get the code seed snippet, and you can adjust this code snippet. Okay, so I don't know how to use React, so I went for what I'm comfortable with. And if you are new like me,
Yeah, but it's good to see you talking about this, because it's easy to understand why some job positions, especially in the United States, they require so much React and Excel when requiring dev guys. They want people to be developing modern add-ins, and I see lots of companies requiring React knowledge. And for example, maybe 3 years ago or 5 years ago, they wanted more C sharp. Okay, you have to know Excel, Visual Studio, and C sharp. C sharp is still present for some specific markets, but React is going fast.
getting popular now.
Yeah, popular. Yes, going popular too fast. Yes, it's because of this that you are showing us.
Okay,
Great.
so that's code that I've done now. This is it. It's not looking fine yet. I will show you what to make it fine. So, like I
Perfect.
mentioned,
Perfect. No problem, because this is the concept. Once
yes,
we get the relation with the what's going on inside Visual Studio, and we see the changes appearing on the real time inside Excel, we see that we can change a title, we can change a little of the JavaScript. This is great. This is great.
okay,
This
great.
is the beginning that everybody needs to know.
It's great. So this is even where I came to get some of the buttons from. So you see, they look finer here than where I've used it. So what is missing is I need to bring in the Bootstrap uh, scripts. So the same way we have some scripts here. So I have the jQuery script. I already have the Fabric UI script. I have some script also from Microsoft Office JS. So I need to bring in the Bootstrap. So that will make what I've done to look like where I copied it from. So that's not difficult. And I have downloaded them already. You can download, you can link to them, whichever, because I just wanted something that would be faster rather than me having to use too much internet. So I already downloaded them. So I'm just going to drag all of these three. So this is the Bootstrap. Let me just make this really big so you can see. These two here are the ones that will make my Bootstrap work exactly the way they should work. Then this one is for, though right now, Microsoft is trying to make us not need this. But before now, we needed to use promise or async. In JavaScript, promise is one of the popular way to asynchronously run tasks in JavaScript. So you want some things to happen asynchronously and then commit them. One doesn't have to end before the other one starts, and it was a big deal until now that I think it's no longer here. The web APIs can run synchronously, but as it is now, I still need to use them. I've not updated my system to have the new features they're adding. So I'm going to drop them in here so it's not going to go because of I'm running the program right now. So I have to stop the debugging. So I have to stop the program so that I can do those kind of changes. So I've stopped it. Okay. Then now I can add this here. Voila. Now I have the Bootstrap and I have the queue that does the JavaScript promises for me. Okay, so with that now, I'm going to run this again. And when I run it, you will see the button will look different now. It's not going to look that too not nice looking as what you saw before. It's going to start looking like what I showed you on the Bootstrap documentation page. So it's every time you launch it, you run it, it creates an Excel file, and I turn on the add-in, and okay, it should have changed. Have I saved? Okay, I didn't do one other thing. So that is not difficult I didn't link them here. So I just need to say, okay, Bootstrap should be referenced in my project. Okay, so that's one. Then also, I need the JS2 to be referenced in my project, the script. Then I need the...
Oh, you can drag and drop.
That's why I say with the Visual Studio, for someone like me,
you're not...
this is going to be very easy.
Better than right. Yeah, better than right.
So now if I refresh, I think it should change now. Yeah, so now it's looking a bit better, right? It's looking a bit more nice looking, like what I copied originally from the Bootstrap documentation. So I think with this, I'm okay with this side of it. Let's go now to functionality. How do we have, when you click on this, something should happen. How do I, link this up with activities that should happen on my Excel sheet? So that brings us to when you are happy with what you've done here, which is the HTML side. Once you've changed whatever you need to change, which you've seen the approach, you put in whatever you want in the body section, and once you're done, that is all. So that's for me, I'm okay with that. This is the footer section. I'm happy with the footer as it is anyway. So we need to go to the functionality side, which is I need to go to the JS, home.js. So if you go to the home.js, which is this is where you start writing the JavaScript functions that is going to interact with your Excel sheets and do things that you want. So right now, let's look at what you're seeing there, and then we'll modify. So it starts with, saying, declaring that it should be TypeScript like strict. You must declare whatsoever variable you want to use. So declare variables. typically, I don't bother too much about this except I need to do something really complex. So for me, what I do is everything up until here, I really don't worry about them because what they do are more like you can see initialize. There are things that you probably will not want to worry about. Then my work starts from here. So this is where I start my work from. And as you can see, if it allows for, if you want to write what will work for people who are not using Excel 2016 and above, then you do this. I don't have the energy to do too much work. So I usually just come here and say, if you're not using Excel 2016, I'm sorry, I am not willing to stress myself. So I just select this portion of it and say, no, if you're not using Excel 2016, I don't want to worry about you. I comment out that part. And then I start with, okay, so what will happen? You can see this. Let me just make it a bit bigger. You see this sample, blah, blah, these highlights, and you can see that it's saying template description text. That is what you are seeing here. That's what you are seeing here. So
it's a placeholder.
Yes, exactly. I can change it to what I like or remove it completely if I need that space. So if I need to use a lot of space and that is taking too much space, I can knock it off. But then we are not doing too much that is taking space here. So I can say, okay, please add in pulls in API data. So there's a reason why I'm using API data as an example. A lot of us have tools that we can pull API data from. You can pull data in form of JSON from Netflix, from your bank, for if you're using some of these new generation banks, digital banks. There's a lot of applications that let you connect API-wise to their services. So if you know how to do this with what I'm demoing with, you can use it for things that are more useful for you. So I'm going to say that, so here is where we tie the buttons. In my own case, you'll notice I have deleted these highlight buttons. These were the buttons that were there before, and I've deleted them. So the buttons that I now have are this. So I have the button that is supposed to pull the stock for yesterday. So these are the buttons I have. I have this. I have this. I have this. So these are the things I want to tie to functions that when someone clicks on yesterday, this should run. You know, a JavaScript function that is monitoring this should be triggered. Likewise for all of this. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to just copy the ID, go back here and say, in fact, I don't need all these ones that are texts. So I can delete these ones and come to this.
Everything there on this file you got from the bootstrap.com.
No. So these ones are directly from when I created the project.
Oh,
so they're like
okay.
the
This is the other. Okay.
Yeah. So it comes, all of this comes directly when you create a new project. So all of this you will get when you create a new project in Visual Studio. You are not the one who is start removing what you do not want and change. So I don't even want this because this is what is loading this sample data, which is, I don't want to use that. So I'm going to take this one out. And then so because of time, you saw what I did where I was going here to copy each of the different IDs and then come back here and I say, okay, this should a function. This is a jQuery way of triggering a function. The function should happen when that button, when this yesterday button is clicked. Nothing will happen right now because I have not yet done it. But once I complete it, it will trigger a function by this name. So I even need to change the function name. So what I've done is I've already written them out, all the functions I need. So I'm just going to copy them from here. But you saw how I did. It's the same thing I did for here. So it's just to, maybe so you will get it. I will not delete the one we did. So I want when you click on yesterday that this should happen, right? So I can knock this one out. Maybe at this stage I should use the magnifier, or I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to just
Oz Solet said, "Don't worry about the time. We don't have anything else to do. The bars are all closed."
okay, thanks for that. So now I've said these are the different buttons I want to track, and these are the functions that should be triggered whenever anyone clicks on those buttons. And right now, I want to replace the buttons, the functions that are already there with my own. So I don't need this function anymore. This is the function that loads some random data that you see in this. Again, like I mentioned, these are the things that were already in the template. So I don't want them. I'm going to delete all this down to, you will notice that I stopped just before here. So these are very useful ones that I don't want to rewrite. So it's better I leave them. So they are helper functions, meaning they are, in this case, they are error handlers. They help us to track errors and handle them. So I like to leave that there. So I'm just going to take out the ones that are just for the functions that came with the template for the population of data. And what I'm going to do is I've already written the functions I want, but I'll tell you they are very easy to write if you know JavaScript. And if you don't know JavaScript, they are easy to understand. The only thing is you might go through Stack Overflow to get ideas of how you string together what you want. But if you know Excel very well, you see things you are familiar, that you'll be familiar with. So let's walk through this one. Now, when someone clicks on this button called yesterday, I don't want to click on it yet. So when you click on it, it will trigger this function call, which is now this, right? And this is something that I got directly from Microsoft, this Excel.run. So this is something I got from Microsoft that always I should start with Excel.run. You can start with something else, a variant of this, but I picked this from Microsoft. Then this is the actual JavaScript code itself. So I declare that I want to the selected range, because I want to know the cell you have selected, right? And then from where you select is where I start bringing in. So I'm going to go and do an API call. So this API call, if I show you the outcome of this, if I go on web and I
This is the answer to the question that I would be making to you anyway, where the data comes from. So you are answering now before I ask. Yeah, because this is the website where we can find the data.
Yes. So this is like the API that if in fact, if you are more programmatic, you could probably even use Postmap but then you get the whole idea. So this is how the data comes. So I just want my web admin to take that data and plug them into the Excel sheet. Okay, so that's what now this portion of the code is doing. So it says,
and this part, and this part is the piece of code that for those who are familiar with VBA, this starts to be natural because I can see the ranges and the offsets. This is the part to write on the real thing on the workbook, on the worksheet.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to run this so you see how it works. The thing is, let me just show you. If I run it now, it will not work yet because I'll tell you why. If I run it now, nothing is happening. Uh, the reason why nothing is happening is it's this JavaScript has not been loaded here. So I need to rerun the program so that it will load all of my functions and my JavaScript that I've just done. It's only the UI that I can save and it will get here. If I change something on the HTML, it will get here. But when I change stuff on the JavaScript side, I will need to reload it. So I'm going to have to reload now. So I'm going to just stop, then tell it to reload. So that way it will load all of these my new functions and all of the JavaScripts that I've added. And then you'll see the beauty of all our work. And as I'm telling you, these are things that someone who is not good in JavaScript. I'm not good in JavaScript. I'm not good with.
But you are making the thing, so you know the
Because
job.
it's simple,
You are
right?
creating the engine. Yeah. In the this is real time. We are live, so you are creating all this stuff. It was supposed to be a demo, but you in fact are giving a full lesson because you are making a real engine and showing us. The only difference, if I understand everything correctly,
Yes.
the only difference is that this one is not published and the other we can find. But
Yes,
if
yes. So
you
this one is not
submit
yet
this
published.
through that process, they may
Yes.
qualify you to publish this
To
if useful.
yes, yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
with some minor changes, if you submit this, yes. Okay. So I want to test it. Uh, so get me for yesterday. Okay. That's strange. It's supposed to
If
come up.
some error happens, we
Okay.
will fully understand because
Yeah,
this
if an
is
error comes up,
oh
normally you will see it here. So you will see like
uh
a console. So that was why I'm
uh-huh.
surprised. That one didn't give an error and it didn't come up. So I don't know why. Maybe it's my internet because sometimes the data is coming directly from. But you can see right here. If I so for us here in Nigeria, we have many different exchange rates. It's a crazy
Uh-huh.
one. We have the one that the government uses and we have the one that we the masses use. So if you're a business person, most times this is the exchange rate that you want, and sometimes you don't get this on all the analytics tools. So I have to go and get. So people like to use this. They're like, oh, okay, let me see what the market exchange rate is, and the difference is very wide. So if you look at government exchange rate, you get. Let me just make this a bit more visible. So government exchange rate, it's 361 Nigerian naira to a dollar. But if you try to get
Uh-huh.
dollars in Nigeria, this is the money you need to have. If you go with this to the bank doesn't even have, so they'll say they don't have. Then you'd have to go and buy from, we call them bureau de change. So those are places where that's their own line of work and this is the rate. So essentially, all of these things are things that people find useful. So I want to pull, let me just try the stock once again. So if you notice, whatever cell I'm in is where it pulls the data into. So that was why I initialized selected range. So selected range is where you are before you go pick it up. And so that's what this does. Let me just try this again and see why it's not coming up. That's strange. And when I loaded it, it came up. Except if I did a spelling error. Let me just be sure I didn't spell anything wrongly. Let me.
I have some Angolan money here.
Oh,
Kwanzas.
great, great. Uh,
Yeah.
until you come here, until you go back, you won't be able to spend them. I don't think you'll be able to spend them
Yeah,
until you go.
I can show you here.
Wow, wow, cool.
I can buy a meal with this here. This other is beautiful as well. This is from Angola. The Kwanzas. Kwanzas from.
Great.
No. This one is from Chile. This is another thing. But Angola, I'm holding the money to spend when I go back and have a good fish
Oh, cool.
in Angola as well before to go to Nigeria. Yeah, let me put
Great.
your screen here again. Do you
Okay.
have the editing done? Because
Yes.
it will bring in the data to
Now
your
it's working
worksheet.
fine. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I did a
amazing.
typo error. So I think I typed something wrongly before, maybe spelling error.
Uh-huh.
So this is how it works, and you're able to say this is end of day as at yesterday, what the different stock
Uh-huh.
markets were, and then if I want to check what it was, last year, so that I can compare my position, so I can, like, okay, what was it in 2019 on July 30th, and if I pick that and I go here and I say highlighted date, it's going to work that way. And maybe that was a Saturday or weekend. So let me try another date. Uh, 2019. Uh, let's pick 28. Okay, so hopefully that should not be a weekend. Market should be open that day. Go. So you see, so for people who they are into financial market, this helps them to easily compare portfolio, and then a whole lot of other things that all of these I've achieved without doing any complex coding. And that was how I was able to build out this entire one that is on the store. So I just added a couple more
Mm-hmm.
things like, what's Nigerian crude oil, what's the crude oil price. So for us in Nigeria, our crude oil tracks the Brent crude oil, and what's inflation, what's even our foreign FX reserve, which is bad now because it's very low. This number is just enough to satisfy three months of
Mm-hmm.
imports for us here in Nigeria. So we're in a bad state, and government is trying to squeeze money from us. But these are things that people in the financial space they like to have, and being able to have it in Excel is something they are happy with, because these are things that
Uh-huh.
you'll have to maybe buy it from someone else, or reach out to people
Mm-hmm.
who have Bloomberg terminal to get it for you. So that's my demo on how, without doing too much, you can build something really useful
Excellent.
in an Excel web admin.
This is excellent. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much because again, as I said before, this was supposed to be a demo, but you gave a lesson. I will, in my case, myself, I will be watching again with some pause, of course. But today I'm going to make my add-in. I can make an
Great.
add-in with this knowledge.
Yes, yes. Very
So
easy.
yes, yeah, and I will, I will. And for those who are watching, uh, it's important to tell them that this works on Excel Online, right? It's
Yes, it works
different
on Excel Online.
to VBA. Yeah, I think this is the main advantage if we compare to VBA. I am a
It also works
big
on
VBA
phone.
fan,
Works on
but
your tablet also. Works on
good.
iPad,
Yeah,
works
and
on phone.
yeah, I have an old iPad here at my side that I got. It was uh, kept inside some place here without use for a long time. I just charged it yesterday. I will do something interesting with the iPad, and this is one of the things that I can do using the equipment that I have here. I can make an add-in and see what happens on Excel Online, desktop, and iPad, and see if everything is working, even in the cell phone, maybe. And this is the kind of thing that I will be testing from now on. It's very,
Great.
very cool. Cool. Yeah, cool, cool. Well, thank you very, very much. We have a question here, but not about Excel, but this is important.
Okay.
But first, let me put some comments that you couldn't see before. I was
Okay.
popping up some comments before, but
Okay, great.
Alan told nice
Oh,
work,
thank you,
Michael.
Alan.
Yeah, we
Thank
have a
you.
guy from Brazil here, more than one. Marcelo was watching you. Luis Gustavo, which is now an MVP, very recently MVP
Great.
from Brazil
Cool.
as well. Something
Impressionante.
here, somebody, yeah, somebody here that he is from data platform as well, so you can
Oh, great.
change something later. I think you know her, and Gracia. It's it's from LinkedIn. This message is
Okay.
from LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're
Diniz
connections.
Fernandes from, yeah, Portugal, from Portugal, and friend of the
Okay.
Brazilian guys.
Uh,
So
cool.
Oz Soler is asking you if
Uh,
you ever
been to the
had the
US. Yes.
opportunity to be in the US. Yes, yes.
No, 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 I haven't. So the year was to go. Something happened, so I couldn't go again. And it was UK I was supposed to go this year, and then COVID-19 happened. I think maybe I should not go anywhere because every time I try to go somewhere outside of Africa, something happens, and maybe I'll just. Well, I don't think that's it anyway. It's one of the places I'm supposed to go to this year actually, and it would be nice to meet all the faces I've been seeing via the mails and online to finally meet them in person.
Yeah, we should be talking in person in April in London together, us and also Alan, Paula, which is here, who is here, uh, Paula from
Yay,
Ireland, Dublin,
Island.
and
Cool, cool.
yeah, the pandemic, it's something that came to, yeah, we are sad with the opportunities that we are losing to meet people in person, but
Yes.
we are, I think we are doing well on the community, bringing together all the guys from so many places and exchanging knowledge like this moment now. And I think that when everything reopen, we will have a great party, not only
Yes.
from Excel guys,
Yes.
but with all our
Everybody.
friends. It will be great.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Alan is cheering for the next year, my friend.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Feb.
I really want to. Yeah. I pray that everything still,
Yeah,
gets sorted globally, and that
safe.
we'll all be able to congregate in UK. Yes. Yes. I look forward to it. Thanks for joining this session.
Yeah, I think my camera is blurred because I can see that I have a very unstable connection now. But I think everyone can see that I'm smile a lot with the thinking of the possibility of meet you
Of what
all.
to do with
So
this.
it will be great to see you all in person. Yes, thank you very much, Michael.
My
It's a
pleasure.
great opportunity to be talking to you. I hope we keep talking again on LinkedIn and the other channels that we have in common. It's a great pleasure to have you here, and I wish you
Do nada.
to give the final
You
words.
nada.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, learning Portuguese. Good,
Yeah,
good,
me too.
good. So this we are reaching the end of the video with extra minutes that are really welcome, and I will put you on the screen, and you give the final words. It can be announcement or advice, feel free, and then we end the video with your words that are really welcome. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation and for giving us this great talk and lesson. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
You are on the screen
Okay.
now.
Okay, so I want to say a big thumbs up to everyone who stayed to the end, and thank you, obrigado to everyone joining in from Portuguese speaking countries, Brazil, Portugal, and Angola, and then to everyone who joined in from English speaking countries, a very big thank you, and I hope we all come out of this period of restrictions and this health period all safe and sound, and to be able to congregate again physically. That's my hope. And please keep staying safe, because it's important that we all come out of this in good health. So thank you very much. That's been a pleasure. And ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you very much.
Okay.